Have you ever felt?
Are you listening?
All right, so you saw the big shrimp room. Now we're going to show you Rob's Caridina room. But before we do that, he and I want to show you what he's been working on. So you want to tell him what you've been working on?
Heck yeah. So this is, as Mike from Aquapros would call it, the Shrimp Kingdom. This is it. So this is the biggest shrimp room we have ever built. You can see behind me the tower of ponds, like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20.
there's
How
30.
many's there?
30.
30.
Well,
that's a lot.
there's 26 and then 4.
So that's 3,000 gallons just right there, right?
Yeah, between these ones, that's 3,000 gallons.
Nice.
Yeah, so this room is going to be the biggest of them all, up until date, and we have 8 275-gallon water totes that are going to be in here. Those are going to be used for water changes and remineralizing water and all that good stuff. This is going to be the room that puts Flip Aquatics on the map. As far as like, now we might be able to do wholesale, we might be able to actually have shrimp in stock all the time instead of going out of stock all the time. And this room is just going to make life so much easier.
This is going to be massive. I can't wait to see you get it done, and you know I'm going to have to come back out when you do.
Well, just think, when you come out next time, you can really cherry pick because you'll literally have 70,000 shrimp to choose from.
Wow. That's a lot of shrimp.
Yeah, so in this room alone, we plan on stocking about 35,000, and about in the other rooms, we have about roughly 35,000. So our total capacity will be about 70.
That's amazing.
That's a lot of shrimp.
That's a lot of shrimp. That's Shrimp Kingdom for sure.
That is the Shrimp King. I like that. All right, let's go check out this room.
All right, yeah, you guys, this room is awesome.
So this is our Caridina room. This is the more expensive shrimp. This is where the magic happens. So first thing you walk in, my favorite shrimp of all time. They'll never change. The Royal Blue Tiger. Now granted, some of the grades aren't very good and there's a lot of black tigers mixed in, just because, and unfortunately they're eating a dead one, which is not a good thing. But don't get that on film.
Oh, you can't even see it.
No, we just fed them, so they're all coming out and feeding. We turned the air off so that it would make for a better video. We got rabbit snails in there. We got tons of Sawasser tang, a lot more Royal Blues. Some of the tanks are not in the best of shape, like these two. We don't have anything in, so they're kind of evaporated. We need to reset those. This tank's doing good. This used to be our this was our first Sawasser tank grow out. It has some USA Fancy Blues that we've had for, oh my goodness, a long time. But this tank is also getting broken down and redone. Just because we want to add some different shrimp in here and kind of redo our old filtration system. As you can see, like we talked about in the last video, we have matin filters in all of our tanks. Probably the coolest thing we have about this room is our water change system, which we can talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
We have 100-gallon ponds, which are the same ones that we're using out in the other room. But in here we use them for water changes. We pump straight RO water up here. We remineralize it with salty shrimp GH and KH, or just GH depending on what it is. And then we use gravity and not pumps to feed it down to do water changes. So like if I was going to do a water change, I would flick this on and then I would adjust each tank, and like you could see, we're getting a water change going. And then behind the matin filter, we actually have a hole drilled, and then it automatically will just overflow out the back. And that's how we do water changes on all these tanks. And so the nice thing is, to do water changes on this entire room, it takes about 2 hours.
That's awesome.
And now granted, the water will run longer than that, but the actual physical time it takes is about 2 hours from start to finish. So this room, love it when it comes to that. The next room, the other room that we talked about before, that room's even easier, but we will get to that. Or we already got to that.
Now, Geo, we gotta give Geo some love.
Oh yeah. So Geo is my buddy. Let me grab some food. Let me
Geo is awesome. Look at this guy.
Shout out to Fluval Bug Bites. Free plug. Hashtag free plug. We actually feed them these goldfish ones just because we had them laying around. But Geo is an absolute pig. We got this guy out of a drain he was in a drain for like literally 2 or 3 weeks. Let's see if he'll eat. He's eating a lot today.
I think he was sleeping. There he goes. He's waking up. That's so cool.
So there's one. Come on, dude.
Feeds him right out of his hand. He's taking it slow.
He definitely does. I mean, he didn't get that big by not eating, but he definitely takes his time.
We did kind of wake him up, though. We just turned the lights
But
off.
everybody likes a little afternoon or a little midnight snack.
Yeah, midnight snack. Never heard no one.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, back to bed. I'm grumpy.
He is a big boy.
He's so cool.
And he's a tilapia. So, like, if you guys ever go to a restaurant and eat tilapia, that's what they look like. Just a beautiful fish. And I would say he's a good 12 inches from head to tail.
That's
maybe
a
a little bit.
40-gallon breeder, just to give you an idea. He's taking up about at least a third of it.
Yeah, he needs a bigger tank, which he'll eventually get one. But right now, this was like, we needed to move him from his old tank because we were breaking that room down. And so he had to get out of there. Let's see, next up. Well, next up we have our handy dandy shop vac with a water attachment because I had a little flood today. You know, whenever you have a shrimp room or a fish room, you always have floods. You always have floods.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
That's great. These are some tangerine tigers. We got a couple tanks of these guys. This is actually a USA line that we've had for, I want to say, at least a year and a half, 2 years that we've been working with them. Maybe even more. These guys,
they're real vibrant in here.
These guys are awesome. This is from our first import. We had a couple left over. They bred, and then here they are. And this is, you know, we've had these
real
for a long
dark.
time.
Hard to see them, but
Hey, let me turn the light on real quick.
you got a light? Yeah.
I do. Beginner Caridina shrimp.
That one is super orange. I
Isn't
like
that
that
crazy
yellow. Is
looking?
that like a yellow King Kong?
It almost looks like it. It honestly, it might be one that just like kind of snuck in here. No, it has one spot on it. 2 spots.
It's a nice variant.
It is. That's funky. Like I said, we've been breeding these for a while, so it has to have came from them, or maybe it got in there somehow. I don't know. Oh, I didn't even think. All the shrimp are going to be crawling down the tubes in the back, because we don't have the air on.
Oh yeah.
Oh well.
So we gotta make this video fast.
No.
Rob's a good guy.
We got some more rabbit snails. These ones are actually USA bred. You can see there's a bunch of different sizes.
I love those things.
What are these ones? Yellows?
Yeah,
Yellows.
looks like yellow.
And then we got some orange-eyed blue tigers in here. And yeah, just an awesome snail and shrimp in this tank. And then down below is one of my favorite tanks. I love bamboo shrimp.
Yeah, these guys are cool.
They're big.
Well, how big do you think? Those are about 3 inches at least, aren't they?
Yeah, I would say these guys are a good 3 inches.
So
The
cool.
bigger ones are maybe 4. But yeah, I just love that they all have different patterns. Like, look at the guy up on the top.
Yeah, I was just noticing that they're not all the same.
Yeah, they like, some of them have spots on them. Some of them look like bamboo. I mean, they're really cool. Right now, they're not happy because the flow's turned off. So they're kind of like, oh, what do we do?
How are we gonna eat?
Never had this before. We don't come from ponds.
This guy's being a show off.
Is he?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're awesome.
that's cool.
Definitely one of my... Oh, there's the baby. See how much smaller he is?
Oh yeah.
Now, we didn't breed that ourselves, but
Young
it
buck.
came in that way. And just like, yeah, it's so much smaller. Love him. Oopsie.
Oh, don't want to knock that over.
No, that would be bad. Those are auction shrimp.
Ah.
Yeah, they're... Don't want to hurt them. Got more tangerine tigers. Up here we have chocolate rabbit snails that are also USA bred, and then some orange-eyed tiger shrimp. So they're just basically orange-eyed blue tiger shrimp culls, and they just call them orange-eyed tigers.
Huh.
So again, like if you're just getting into the Caridina side of it, this is a great beginner shrimp. Something that doesn't need buffered water. We got our sole surviving red tiger over here. We've had her for a long time.
She's beautiful.
Which it actually looks like a hen. I don't know.
And there's a yellow.
There's a nice yellow.
And these are all babies too. These are all baby rabbit snails up top.
Those
Looks
ones
like
are
MTS.
Malaysians.
Oh, those are Malaysians?
Yeah, they have a lighter shell.
Okay.
That's a good way to tell.
And then like this dark one right here would be
a rabbit, yep.
baby rabbit snail.
Exactly.
And it still blows my mind that they live breed. That's just insanity.
Isn't that crazy?
So crazy.
I love them though. And then this is actually our breeding colony of super tigers, which I absolutely love them. We haven't been able to breed them to the point where we could sell them. We just need to keep dividing up their colony, let them grow, divide them up, let them grow. And eventually we will have these for sale, but we haven't been able to yet. We've been working with them for a long time.
That one just pooped on camera.
Ooh, you better edit that out. This tank, if the glass was clean, it would be awesome. This is Amanda's tank, which is my wife. It's all of like the high grade variations of Taiwan bees that we got in that she really loved. And it's just kind of a mixed tank of like pintos and things. And you could see there are just like little babies everywhere on the glass. There's just so tiny. Yeah, there's just some awesome shrimp in here. Some really expensive shrimp, some not so expensive shrimp. So it will be really cool to see like what comes out of this tank. And it's just gonna be a lot of fun. So this is one of my favorite tanks to look at.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
lots of variety.
Yeah, sorry about the glass, but I mean that's how when you're trying to breed things, that's what you want.
And half of it's my camera.
Yeah,
not wanting to focus.
These are deep blue bolts. Some of them are deep blue bolts, and they got another tank of them down below. As far as Taiwan bees go, these are definitely one of my more favorite shrimp. I just love blue bolts.
Look at this guy. What's he doing?
He's funky looking, isn't he? He's like almost a yellow tint to him.
That's like a whole new different kind of shrimp.
Yeah, they have some funky variations.
Beautiful.
Yeah, blue bolts, like it's hard to beat a good blue color.
It is.
And as long as you have the right conditions for these, they're fairly easy. We're trying to make Taiwan bees more of a not beginner shrimp, but more of an accessible, easier to keep thing for like the everyday hobbies. Like if you do A, B, and C, then you'll be successful with Taiwan bees. So that's our goal.
Make them less finicky.
Make them less finicky. This is our Galaxy tank, one of them, and these are more or less the ones that we've kept through the different imports we've done, and ones that we really like. And so a lot of these are actually breeding, which you can see. Like here's a baby right here.
Yeah.
There's another baby right here. And so it's really exciting to look at this tank just to see what comes of the babies. We have reds and blacks in here of different galaxies. And just to give you an idea, like these retail anywhere between $50 up to $1,000 for really nice ones.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's just absolutely nuts.
Man, they're a good-looking shrimp, though.
Gorgeous, huh? I was debating on auctioning that girl because I think she's buried, if that's the one I'm thinking of. And she's got that nice fishbone pattern on the back. Mm-hmm. Which just, is just awesome.
I kind of like this solid white one up here, too.
Yeah, that's actually called a BOA version or a BOA. And it's a sought-after variation, but to me, like, it doesn't have the refined patterns as, like, the fishbone. But, like, yeah, the one you're looking at right now, an absolute stunning one. So, yeah, those ones are always really cool. Down here, these are actually Nanasi pintos.
Nasty pintos?
Nanasi.
Nasty?
Nasty, huh? Yeah, these are black Nanasis.
That's nasty in a good way, right?
This is nasty in a good way. These are nasty awesome. Selene, he actually won the Shrimp King Award
Oh.
for these shrimp at the shrimp competition this year.
Nice.
So the Nanasis are they're pretty. I wouldn't say sought after shrimp, but they're definitely one that performs well in competitions across the world. So just definitely a very, very pretty, unique looking shrimp.
Oh yeah, the color contrast is just phenomenal.
Yeah, they.
With that black and white, how it is.
Yeah, I love these guys.
Well, you know.
All right, so next up we just got our generic blue bolts. You know, nothing special. Again, one of my more favorite. But I like some more solid blue. If I'm being honest, these guys are nice though. Good beginner for like a generic Taiwan bee tank.
And for everybody who may be wondering, what kind of substrate are you using in here?
So currently, my favorite substrate for Taiwan bees is Brightwell. So this is Brightwell substrate. Any color, any granule size. Because like Brightwell is really weird how they do theirs. It's like they have like really interesting ways of writing it. It's like Brightwell soil like G25, and everyone thinks like, oh, every single one's different. It's all the same. It's just different colors and different sizes. So any type of Brightwell substrate will work for these guys.
That's good to know.
Next up, these are actually
Coming home with me, some of them.
yes, these are black pandas. The only reason these ones aren't sold is because they were all buried and doing really well. So we kept them, and you can, if you looked around, there's like babies everywhere.
All over the place.
So obviously they're happy, they're doing well, the babies are growing up, and everything's going good. So like Taiwan bees are our thing right now. Like that solid white one.
Yeah, it's gold bee, isn't it?
It's honestly, it's probably a low grade blue bolt, because these were actually originally shadow pandas, but they didn't show as good enough coloration. So then we only sold them as pandas.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so anyone that's like solid white would be a blue
one.
bolt.
Boy, you can see the blue on that already.
Yeah, like here's two really nice blue bolts.
Oh yeah, I see them.
See them?
Yep.
So that's the fun thing with Taiwan bees is, you know, it's kind of like Christmas morning when you're breeding them, because you don't know what you're gonna get. Like you could breed blue bolts with wine reds and with black pandas, like everything, and it won't hurt the genetics. It won't like create brown shrimp as it would with mixing some Neo Caridina. And so these guys, like you mix them all and then they breed, and you never know what you're gonna get.
Kind of like what Mama said about the box of chocolates, right?
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get next. And then down here is just more black pandas, some black King Kongs down here, some Mazuras.
Let me see something real quick, guys. How do you like that?
Oh, some extra lighting.
Got some light on them. Now you can really see them. Gorgeous.
Yeah, the black. I love the black King Kongs, the black pandas. Honestly, I just like Taiwan bees, just because it's something that I haven't done in a while, and so doing it now is just awesome.
All right. Back pedal here.
All right, so these ones are actually red ones. Is what we originally got them. They sent them to us as red King Kong / panda mix. So you get some Mazuras, you get some, just real weird ones. But like, that one's funky. It's got the line on the back of the head.
I love that one. That one's awesome.
Yeah, you just don't see things like that too often. So that most likely is a Thai bee, I would guess. So we probably wouldn't sell something like that, and I'd probably keep it just because I think it's awesome.
Right.
So yeah, so there's just some cool stuff. Like this one guy over here that's got a solid red head and like a tiny white spot on him. Like that guy is just beautiful to me.
When it gets big enough, that'll be show quality.
Oh yeah, and the nice thing is like these guys are breeding too. Like there's just babies everywhere. You see them through the moss, you see them on the ground, and like here's a tiny microscopic baby. So you know they're breeding currently.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I just love that. Seeing babies is like,
it's the ultimate.
It's
when
the
you
bomb.
look in a tank and you've been keeping them for so long, it's like, yes, finally you know you're doing something right.
oh yeah. Now this is the next noteworthy tank. These are a bunch of galaxies. And so these are galaxy pintos from Selene. We got probably about 60 in there-ish. And so again, it's dark. All of our tanks are really dark because we just need enough light to be able to see.
Right, and I'm sure the shrimp like it better.
Yeah, they don't, I'm sure they don't like being blistered with light.
That's a cool shot. Look at those guys.
Yeah, those look good.
Man.
See that one right up front that's like got a really nice fishbone pattern?
Yeah.
This guy right here.
That one.
Love that one.
That one over next to it too. Actually, all those really.
They all look good.
Man.
Yeah, so those guys are always a lot of fun. And then down here we got just your generic crystal reds. We try to keep a couple tanks of these guys going. And the nice thing is we always try to import enough that they'll start breeding for us, so that we don't sell out of them too quick, and we end up getting a couple rounds of babies out of them. And then customers always like it when they get a buried female or a couple extra babies in the bag, so we try to do that from time to time. But yeah, crystal reds are like the staple shrimp, like absolutely love them. And you just can't beat the red and white contrast. And then I know you had a question.
Those are going home with me somewhere.
Are they?
Yeah.
You're taking too much home. You're not gonna have enough room in the car.
Probably not.
That's funny. Now this rack, Lucas was asking me about this, and this is kind of obsolete. This was the first attempt at like having like somewhat of an automated water change system, and so we did like not a refugium, but it's a pond, and that's how we remineralize our water. And then we use the pump that is down in here. It goes up, and then it goes through pipes above all the tanks, and then we have a little PEX tubing on each one, and then we can adjust the water flow that way. So we'll plug that in, let it run for like 10 minutes, and does a water change on everything. And then we have the backs of the tanks drilled so it automatically overflows out.
So it's pretty much the same as this system, just this one's gravity fed opposed to this one being electrical.
So we did both of these. We did this one first and this one second. But this was like the attempt at a different type of system. And then that system kind of worked better. And then the new room works even better. So we're converting all to the new room type of water change, which is just centralized water centralized water stores, and then pump it all from there and disperse it to the tanks. So it's less mixing, more just doing big water changes. So it keeps things simple. But this whole system I love, but unfortunately we're going to be breaking this whole thing down.
Yeah?
And, we are.
Are you?
Yep, we're going to redo it.
And I'm not sure what you're going to do.
I'm not sure exactly how we're going to redo it yet, but I have a lot of good ideas.
I'll give you guys a reason to stay tuned.
Yeah, well, you're definitely going to be coming back.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Especially when Shrimp Kingdom opens up.
Oh, yeah, Shrimp Kingdom will be a good one. And then down here we have more crystal reds.
Yeah, I love this tank right here.
Yeah, there's some really nice ones in there. I love crystal reds in general. I just think they're an awesome shrimp.
I do too. They're just swarming, especially when they're just swarming.
Oh yeah, I mean with black substrate and like green plants, like they just pop.
They do.
Always a favorite. We got orange-eyed blue tigers with again yellow yellow rabbit snails. Again, this one doesn't have the mat filter in, so this one has been set up since we started this room. So this one's been set up a long time with these shrimp in there.
It's an OG tank.
That is an OG tank. There's not many of those left. And then these are our red fancy tigers. You can see just all sorts of different types of patterns with these guys. These ones, I really enjoy these guys. These are one of Amanda's favorites. And we actually have a personal tank of these at home because we like them so much. And they do really well for us. People tend to really like them. They're extremely hardy because they're mixed between two different species. And yeah.
What are they mixed between?
Tigers and crystals.
Tigers?
They mix them, and that's how they get like the tiger striped. Yeah, these guys are awesome. And then down here we just have a couple crystal blacks left. Nothing too crazy. Maybe just like 20, 30 down there. We're running low on crystal blacks, unfortunately.
Well, hopefully I can get some of these too.
Hey? What you see is what you get.
Good enough for me. I'll log it a lot.
And then down here we have some more red fancy tigers.
Beautiful.
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
You guys got me crawling down on the floor here. Doing this for you, all you guys
Doing
watching.
this for you guys. These are actually pure red line. And I'm sure, do you know what pure red line stands for?
PRL, pure red line?
Yeah, like do you know what it is?
I think it's, they haven't been mixed with anything, right?
Exactly. So they haven't been mixed with any golden bees, no other crosses. They're just a pure line of shrimp. And so we've had these. We don't have them listed right now because literally like buried. There's another buried one. There's like 6 buried females in there. So we're just kind of like letting them have their babies and pop. And then once they breed, we'll probably sell them off from there, or we'll just keep the line going. Who knows? Oh, don't catch me yawning. It's been. Oh man,
What time is it?
it's getting late. It's been a long day with me and Lucas. But we've had a good time. We got some yellow King Kongs, some babies in there. Not too many of those left. We got another tank up top though.
I like these guys too.
I do love those guys. They're basically like a yellow Neo, but a Taiwan B type.
Right. And they can get really bright.
Oh, they can get super bright. These guys are USA crystals. We've had these for a long time.
So now you talk about the PRL. Do you ever see these throw anything different?
I do not.
So these could be considered
They could be,
PRL?
but I don't know for a fact. So, you know me, I like to do everything by the book and try to be as honest as I can.
Right, better than putting your foot in your mouth, right?
Yeah, because if one person has an excuse and all of a sudden I'm a liar, then that's not good for me. It's not good for the business. And so I just try to be as honest as I can up front and just do the best I can. Now this tank is definitely one worth noting. This is our red fancy tiger tank, but these are like our high grade. So we got 1 or 2 competition grade in there, which those usually retail between $500 to $800, and then some offspring from that. And so hopefully some really good colored ones come out of there and we can use them for our breeding project. That's what I'm really excited for.
Now you were a judge at the last international competition.
The USA International Competition. Remember, I got you 3rd place.
Is that how that happened? Right on, bro.
Yeah,
I was wondering.
I was looking out for
How
Lucas
did I win
Brooks.
with those coals? That's how. Right there.
Now you know. It all makes sense now. But yeah, I did judge the USA competition. I was honored to be able to do that. It was an awesome privilege.
And so you know what you're looking for when it comes to these shrimp.
Yeah.
Now you did point out that competition grade one. Do you think you can point them out again? For
Yeah.
us?
Oh, for sure.
So they know kind of.
So with any shrimp, now that I'm blinded with light, like I still have a flicker in my eye from looking at your camera. But with judging, it's all based on just your own opinion. I believe it's this one that's looking at us, but I can't tell from her straight on. But I'm pretty sure that that's our competition female.
I think that may be the one you were.
And
pointing
so what you would judge her on is size, which she's pretty good size. You would judge her on both of her colors, like how nice is her red color versus how nice is her black or red and white color. How nice is her red, how nice is her white. Then you would look at her legs, which I'm really not sure how her legs are. I believe they're partially red.
They
Which
actually
helps.
got white on them.
Do they?
Yeah.
So the more color her legs have, the better. And then if I submitted her with other shrimp, I would compare her to how she looks versus the other shrimp, and then from there I would look at how she's acting. If she's acting sick, then she would lose points. If she's acting healthy, she would gain points. But yeah, so it all comes down to how they all look together and how they look individually and their size and all that.
Very cool.
Yep. And then over here, I think we have, well, we can always show, we got to show Mopo some love. Monica Polar.
Gotta love Mopo.
These are
She's
her.
the sweetest.
She is 100% a sweetheart.
And her work is amazing with these shrimp.
Oh my gosh, she is very, very talented, and she very much so cares. And so these are dancing men. These shrimp are like $500 to $800 a piece again, which are expensive shrimp. But luckily, we're really good friends with her, so they didn't cost us that much. And these guys are doing good. We have at least 1 or 2 buried ones. I believe the 2 on the filter are buried towards the back. So hopefully we'll have babies out of these soon. And I really want to have a breeding project with these guys in the new room. That's my big hope. So that tank's worth noting. This tank's worth noting. These are some Thai micro crabs. We just got these in maybe a week ago. So not all of them are doing the best, but we're trying to nurse them back to health and get them healthy.
And these are good size for micro type crabs.
They are pretty big for micro crabs. That is for sure. But these guys are just cool.
And you see how they're hairy here. That's how they naturally are. And that's how they feed, by collecting stuff on this.
Yeah, that's how they feed, and then they'll collect as much stuff from the water current as possible, and then they'll eat off of it. And obviously, whoever fed today fed a little bit too much, either today or yesterday. So we'll actually have to get in there and take some of that old food out. Because me and you were talking about earlier, you know, you don't want them eating that old nasty food. Lucas was giving me a hard time. He's like, man, you need to get in there and get that out right now. And I'm like, all right, Lucas, I'm doing it.
You got right to it.
You got to. This tank is really awesome. This is actually our Taiwan bee call tank, which is a bunch of different grades of Taiwan bees. You know, you got your Misuras. You got ones that we believed were Michelins. And then we didn't want to, you know, be selling things that we didn't think were up to grade. And then there's some nice ones. Like there's the occasional really nice Taiwan bee. Maybe it was the last one left in its tank and we moved it. So this is kind of like the home place for any Taiwan bee or crystal that, you know, doesn't have a home.
Nice blue panda there.
Yeah, that one is gorgeous.
Yeah.
That must have been from Amanda's tank because she was talking about that earlier. But yeah, there's still some pretty shrimp in there.
Very cool.
Yeah, then.
Really, there's Caridinas in your Caridina room.
Yeah? Those guys have been in there a long time then. And those are, I believe, those are the yellows or the gold? Yeah, they're yellows.
Yeah, yellows.
Yeah, I love the rabbit snails. And then, I think that's pretty much it for this rack, and then we'll go around to the other side. These are just USA cherries. These ones are just purple zebras, which they're impossible to see. And then down here, we got some red Taiwan bees, which we don't have too many of these left. But these are like your red pandas, your red wines. I'm sure there's the occasional red King Kong down there.
So what's the difference between a red wine and a panda? Is it the pattern?
It's the color. A red wine is just a color variation. It's the type of red that it has. So the red actually looks like a wine color versus just like a standard red color.
Okay, that makes sense.
So most people just use red wine and red panda as the same name.
So it's kind of like the crystal reds, how it's more on the shell, and then how the Bloody Marys have it more on the body. It almost looks
Exactly.
like. Okay.
Yep. Now these are just black King Kongs, black pandas. I mean, you can see there's some really nice black King Kongs in there. Which I didn't even know this tank was back here, if I'm being honest. I have some amazing employees that do a good job, and I look at like the few tanks that I really enjoy, and then they kind of manage the rest. So yeah, I haven't even looked at this tank. There's some really nice shrimp back here, and it's on the bottom. So like, you know, who wants to be crawling on their hands and knees? Am I right? Lucas Bretz does. That's funny. And then we got more black King Kongs and pandas up here.
For the love of shrimp.
For the love of shrimp. Just to show everyone on YouTube what's going on.
That's how it really goes down. Yeah, some of these are definitely going with me. Now, these have kind of, some of them have like a bluish hue to them.
So, most of them, like, the way that Taiwan bees are kept, most pandas, black pandas, will have a bluish hue to them. Just because at some point they were interbred with blue bolts.
Now, has anybody ever tried to selectively breed that blue and
yeah, so
have
that
like a blue and a white?
They call that a shadow panda, which there are some really nice ones out there, but they're really hard to find. Like we've had a hard time importing them.
So shadow panda and a blue shadow panda are different?
A blue shadow panda and a shadow panda are the same.
Okay, because with the blue shadow panda, isn't the blue more on the white instead of the blue on the black?
Yes, so it would be the same for both.
Okay.
Unless you're thinking of a different shrimp for a blue shadow panda.
See how this one, it's almost like blue. The black is almost all blue.
Oh, so
it's blue and white. Like, that's a gorgeous shrimp.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's hard to tell on the film, but
I would say in shrimp, most of the time, black color is just a really dark blue.
Yeah, it's the same with Neos.
Yeah.
That's how they got the black rose. I've actually bred the blue Neo Caridina so dark that they all started turning black.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now this tank's actually funny. This is my original carbon really colony from when I first started shrimp. This is what's left of it. And I haven't had the heart to get rid of it.
I love how well your plants do too. They're low light, and you don't even focus on plants.
No, they're just in there. Honestly, I can't even tell you why they're in there. Like, I remember I bought this pot at an auction that had a Nubius growing on it for like 20 bucks. And then we've taken off of it a bunch of times, and somehow there's still stuff on it. So somehow it's just weathered the storm, and there it is.
That's awesome.
And then this is one of my more favorite things in here that I look at it a lot. This is the red pinto tank. So there's a bunch of different mixes of the red pintos, but mainly you're gonna see like, skunk looking patterns. Some zebras. You're gonna see some spotted head. There's tons of different patterns, but all in all, like a red and white shrimp contrast is hard to beat.
Yeah, it is, especially on this black substrate.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, because the white just pops. But there is one thing that beats it, and it is right here. Like we'll come back to the rest of it, but this is the one thing that will beat it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Just solid.
Oh yeah.
Solid red with a tiny bit of white. These are our extreme red King Kongs. And then right above here we have the extreme black King Kongs, which, Lucas, they are getting behind.
You better get that air filter.
I gotta get that air back
Let's
on.
put that on. We can't have that.
Well, hey, you want to wrap up the video? We're towards the end anyway.
We'll do that. Show you guys more mixed pintos. So he was gracious enough to turn off his air pump so we can do this video and not have so much background noise for you guys.
For you all.
For you all.
Now we have to go catch a bunch of shrimp.
Yes, because they're all getting back behind the mountain filters.
It happens.
So I hope you guys enjoyed. And Rob, thank you so much for having me, showing me all your awesome shrimp.
Thank you, man.
You know I'm coming home with some of them.
I know you are. I'm going to have to part with some of my favorite ones, but that's what you do for friends, right?
That's why. Well, my son ended up kicking us off the video because he wanted to FaceTime his dad before he went to bed. But what I was saying is I drove all the way over there so I could pick out some shrimp. And Rob was friendly enough to let me pick my own shrimp. I did have him help me with some of them just because I was in a time crunch trying to get to my next place, which was actually the Ohio Fish Rescue, which will be coming up as well. And also, we'll have Ken's Radical Reefs, which was behind that blue door at the beginning of the first part of Flip Aquatics video. And I also have the story of Rob's very first tank. Now, I'm not sure when I'll come out with that one. I may hang on to that one for a while. We'll see. And I hope you guys learned something. I know I did, going through all the Caridinias, because Caridinias definitely aren't my specialties. Yes, I've won awards with Neo Caridinias, but I never had the opportunity to keep Caridinias myself with the soft water and having enough of it. But now I do, and I can actually make that a reality. And I want to thank Rob for giving me what I needed. He even hooked me up with some substrate, and I'm going to try it the right way, because I've got crystals on Eco Complete and they bred out and everything else, but it's not the right way to do it. So I want to thank Rob for his hospitality, having me up there. Same to Amanda. And I can't wait to come up again, because I know I still need some stuff. I forgot to get that Malaysian driftwood. I was kind of working on a budget. It's just how life goes. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, peace.
Damn.